It is Monday. We are back. Let's talk a little bit about the football. We're talking. Pat's off camera right now. Everybody say hi to Pat. Pat's got glasses on, and he feels awkward about it. Nobody make fun of Pat. All right, guys. El Clasico happened over the weekend, and it did not go down like I think a lot of people expected it to go down. Real Madrid got smacked in the mouth, 5-1 by Barcelona, a Messi-less Barcelona. This is the first Clasico without Ronaldo and Messi, I think, in like almost a decade, maybe. Someone give me a quick number crunch on that one at some point. Julen Lopetegui apparently is very close to being on his way out. He was already very close to being on his way out, and then his team got punched in the mouth 5-1. And so now he's a lot closer to being on his way out. Antonio Conte is rumored to be replacing him. Real Madrid is in 9th with a 0 goal difference. I'm not sure how familiar you are with Real Madrid, but 9th place, not something they're typically okay with. We have a question for you guys. Again, answer all the questions we have for you today. Get down in the comments, let us know, and we will be entered to win a t-shirt. The question for you guys is, will Real Madrid win a trophy this year? They've got 3 on offer. They've got Champions League, they've got La Liga, which if I was a betting person, I'm gonna go ahead and bet they're probably not gonna win La Liga. And they've got Copa del Rey, which is a legitimate possibility. So the question for you guys is, will Real Madrid win a trophy? But back to El Clasico. No Messi. Luis Suarez, though. For me, I think he's still definitely top 5 strikers. I think he fell off a little bit this year. Looked like he might be put on a little bit weight, enjoying that Uruguayan steak. Maybe also the Spanish steak. I don't know where he's getting his steak, but it looks like he's been eating a couple of them. But like in this game against Real Madrid, he showed for me exactly why he is one of the best strikers in the world. I don't think there's a striker that works harder than him off the ball. Maybe Edinson Cavani, maybe Roberto Firmino. On the ball, you saw it at Liverpool. You've seen it for Barcelona. He's so good with the ball at his feet. He's so good with his movement off the ball. He's so incisive with his finishing, with both feet, with his head. He's just ruthless. And we saw all of that against Real Madrid. MLS Decision Day was yesterday. And Andrew always has his Red Bull gear on, but today he's doubled up. You know what? This is normal. I'm not gonna lie. Yeah, here, I got you.
There you go.
There it is. Look at this man. Gang, gang. I want to say that I'm a little bit surprised. I'm not a lot surprised. I thought that Red Bulls would win, but I also thought that Atlanta would win. I thought Toronto would kind of lie down like they have most of this season, but it turns out they probably didn't want to give up that points record at home to Atlanta, which a little bit of pride at stake, and they stepped up, which makes sense. Atlanta didn't have Miguel Almiron. They've had some injuries. There's playoffs obviously coming up, so I feel like they probably let off a little bit and got smacked in the mouth by Toronto. So shout out Red Bulls, Derek Etienne. It takes a lot of mental fortitude to come back from missing a penalty, to then keep playing and then pop up with the winner in the way he did. And the goal itself, it was a sexy little goal, I'm not gonna lie. The run, the finish, the keeper probably should have done a little bit better, but Red Bulls set a points record, 71, and just so happy right now. My guy cannot stop smiling, I love it. Bigger choke, was it Atlanta losing to Toronto, or was it LA Galaxy losing 3-2 to the Dynamo? Should I bring on Pat to talk about some Decision Day stuff? I feel like we should talk about it. Pat, is your microphone on? Are you ready? Pat, do you want to come? No,
I'm coming.
He's coming. Here he is.
I'm coming. Just had to unmute my mic.
Bro,
okay, so what are we talking about? Decision Day. So who was more of a choke?
Yes.
It's hard to say. I think there was. It's hard to say who more was on the line for, because LA Galaxy needed to make the playoffs. They needed to win. They blew a 2-0 lead. But Atlanta on the other side was going for their first trophy, and they also blew it. So it's hard to say which one is more grave, but I mean, Atlanta's still an awesome team. I think they're still a major favorite. I mean, not a favorite, but they have a really good chance of winning MLS Cup. So I think it was probably more devastating for LA Galaxy and Zlatan's legacy here in the United States, but he did everything he could do. It's whatever.
We got a little thing going on. We got a decision day thing. We got a playoff thing going on. We're actually competing against each other. I don't really feel quite comfortable standing beside you right now.
I know.
Which is a little awkward.
We need to, we're going to see who's the best. What are we doing?
Basically, we're competing to have a nice dinner with Heath.
Okay. I could get that anytime, but I could do that in a competition format as well.
Don't die, because this is terrifying.
Yeah, so no one watches more MLS than me in the office combined. I watch more than anyone else combined.
You keep making this claim, and there's no one there to knock you off your perch. So
I think I'm going to win this thing, and it should be no problem. Right. So, all right, I'm going to go make sure.
Get out of here. Make sure he doesn't die.
Oh, just please love me.
Give me a kiss. Oh.
Love this guy.
All right, DC United. We called this at the beginning of the season with all their away games, with the stadium not being built, and then that run that they were going to have at the end with all those home games with the brand new stadium. I didn't know Wayne Rooney was going to be on the team, but obviously he came in, has been an incredible addition to United's squad, and they're in the playoffs, and they actually look like a team who has a chance to win this thing, which is wild when you look at how they looked at the beginning of the season. But shout out to DC United, they're a legitimate contender, IMO. Jussi Zardes scored a hat trick on decision day. Crew are into the playoffs. He had 19 goals this year, the most by an American, which I will admit, I have been a Jussi Zardes critic. I didn't think he was the greatest up front. I thought he might be better as a winger, even possibly further back. But he has proven a lot of people wrong, proven me wrong at least this season. Scored 19 goals. The Crew they also look like they might be a contender. They were struggling a little bit going into playoffs, but now they legitimately look. Playoffs are a great time. Like I am a fan of the regular. I've said this before, the regular league system, the more traditional European league system. But you can't help but get excited about playoffs when all these teams start to heat up. There's a small wind tunnel going, but when all these teams start to heat up, when literally everything's on the line, and all it takes is a couple games to get in the flow, and anything can happen. The question for you guys, the second question is, who is your favorite to win MLS Cup playoffs? Talked a little bit about PSG. I can't stop talking about Kylian Mbappe, but 11 wins in a row to open the season for PSG, which is the best since Spurs, since 1960. The issue is not with Ligue 1 for PSG. The issue is with Champions League, and that's what's most important for them. And the question for you guys is, will they escape the group stage in Champions League? Obviously, PSG are the kings of Ligue 1. They have won that league over and over and over and over again. That's not where they're going to discern themselves, where they're going to separate themselves. It's Champions League. And I honestly don't think they have it. I think right now they lack something really serious in the middle of the park. They should have never sold Blaise Matuidi. Now he's a key part of Juventus, who needed a strong midfielder, and now he is one of those guys who is there and showing up that midfield. And I really feel like they're lacking some grit, a little bit of soul in that team, an identity, and I don't think they have that to win Champions League this year. I wouldn't be surprised if they didn't make it out of the group stage. I think they will just scrape it, but after that, I don't see them going too much further. All right, guys, and the last thing of the day is COPA90 questions. Remember, guys, we are still actually giving away the Champions League ball, so get in the comments in there, enter to win. It's not in the comments, sorry. There should be a box right here that you click, and then you can enter to win it. Last episode's shirt winner is Brian Ijonosa. So congratulations. Let us know on Instagram, Twitter, YouTube community, however you internet, holler at us there, and we will get you your t-shirt. All right, so let's get straight to your questions. Siddharth Pothumudi asks, did Wayne Rooney have a bigger effect for DC United's team than Zlatan at LA Galaxy? / thoughts on Galaxy and Zlatan missing the playoffs? This one's a tough one because I think Galaxy it was almost Zlatan and no one else. He didn't really seem to have much help in that team, but Rooney came in and dragged that DC United team into the playoffs. So as much as an impact as Zlatan had, and all the hype that there's so many children. As much impact as Zlatan had and all the goals he scored, they didn't get into the playoffs. And as a wise man once said about an hour ago, most teams make the playoffs. It's really hard to not make the playoffs. That was Pat Imperna. He said that. And it's a good quote. It's important. Like that, most teams make the playoffs. It's true. It's true. Most teams make the playoffs. So I have to say, Wayne Rooney absolutely had a bigger effect for DC United because you know what? They're in the playoffs. Matt 330. The Crew surviving rumors of relocation and their manager moving on to make the playoffs. That wasn't a question, but yes, it's super dope. The Crew story is an incredible story. It's like a very uniquely American story, I think. But it's great to see that the Crew, it looks like they've been legitimately saved and now they're in the playoffs. And I think they're the team that I'm most interested to watch going into playoffs because Greg Berhalter was in and around the national team list, the short list. Zach Steffen's in the national team and is an incredible goalkeeper. You've got Jesse Zardes, who's a really cool story, and just the team itself is a cool and incredible story. So I really think the Crew are my team to watch going into the playoffs. Rascal1717, thoughts on Alphonso Davies' final game and what kind of legacy he's leaving in MLS. Also thoughts on his future at Bayern Munich. I think this hopefully sets a strong precedent for youth development in MLS. I think what we should be shooting for right now and for the next at least few years is to be a development league, basically. US is the type of league that should be attractive for young up-and-coming players to make a name, to play some quality football, quality soccer, grow, and then go somewhere else. I think that should be what we strive for young, exciting players to come here, make a name, and go somewhere else. It's not gonna be a final destination, at least not for years. That's Europe. That's the big, it's even not even just Europe, period. That's the big leagues in Europe. And what we should be doing is developing young players and letting them know that they can make their name here, this way. They can make their name here and go somewhere else to a bigger platform. And Alphonso Davies is doing just that. He was great for Vancouver. He is a young player who showed his talent in MLS, and now he's gonna get to show his talent at a bigger club. I hope he will do well at Bayern Munich. I really think it's a great time for him to go right now because they're in kind of a period of rebuilding. They've got Arjen Robben and Frank Ribéry on their way out. So there's a place for a young winger to step in and maybe make a name for himself. Last question is from Davey Sparkles. A 4-1 loss for Atlanta United. Do you think they'll do better in the Cup since they lost the Shield on the last day? They need that man, Almiron, back. He's really important for them. It's probably, he and Josef Martinez are their best players. And I do not think their defense is good enough to make up for him being out because they need to score a lot of goals. They don't have a great defense, in my opinion, and they need to score goals. So if he's out, they're gonna struggle. But I do think they'll make a deep run in the playoffs. I still think, and I'm gonna give you my favorite still, Sporting KC. I think Peter Vermes has that team super organized. They're just a really, really compact and solid team as a whole. They've been together for a long time. And for me, my favorite is still Sporting KC. But that's gonna really do it for us today, guys. As always, we really appreciate you getting down in the comments, asking us questions, watching, clicking like, subscribing. Thank you to Pat for coming on and wearing his glasses, and we'll catch you next time, guys.